Hi, it's Dr. Ron England coming to you from Daytona State College. What we're going to talk to you about a little bit about today is this is part one of a game that I'm going to be demonstrating through multiple lectures. This will be part one of IC Card's web game. And what we're going to show today is actually how to take a large image and split it up into a bunch of small images and show it inside of a page. Relatively straightforward stuff here, but let's start with the concept. I've got this image here. This is a PNG image. But notice it's got a whole bunch of cards on it. This is an actual, on the web, that image. And as you can see, it's not really an image of one thing. It's an image of multiple things. This is a very common technique. Is to take an image that you've got that might have multiple images, instead of having a separate file for every single image that you need to display, you create one large image and then you crop out a piece of that image that you're going to show on the screen. So basically you're looking at this concept of a partial image display. Now this is relatively easy to do, and I'm going to show you how this is done. I've created a CSS class here with display block, a width and a height. Now the width and the height are specifically the width and the height of a single card in the previous image. And the background image property of the CSS class here is going to be a link to the URL of that actual card, of that whole bunch of cards that you had. So now by setting background repeat to no repeat, setting up a border and putting a border radius in, I can now show one card. So out of that image. Now in the case over here, however, I want to show different cards at different times. So this is a single CSS class, and we're going to walk over here to the HTML. What I've done in the HTML is I've created a table, because I'm just going to show them as 4 cards in a table. That'll going to be 4 cards from that other image. And notice I've got span, so I used a span here, and I set the class equal to 2 classes, cards and airplane 1. So what it's going to do is it's going to apply the CSS properties of both of those classes in span class. Well, the first class, cards 1, actually defines the width and the appearance of a single card, but it shows that background image as being the large image. In the second one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually set the original background position of that image to be a specific set of coordinates within that image. In the case of the airplane, we'll look at the airplane. The airplane is in the upper left-hand corner of the image. So in the case of the airplane, all I'm going to do is crop out a little bit of the upper left and the top of this. So my background position is -2, -4 pixels. So essentially what I've done is I haven't moved the image, I've moved at what you can see of the image. So you're going to see just the airplane card, that one specific card. And the reason it only shows the one card, okay, is because I set the width and the height to be a specific width and height. Now, let's get a little bit more complex. I'm back over here in the table here, and I've now got the second one where I've got the span equal to cards 1 and chicken. Well, that's because I'm going to show you the chicken card, but what it's going to do, the first one showed you cards 1 and airplane, and if you notice the class was defined as airplane, the class defined as chicken here has a different background position. If I go back over here to the card, I can see that the airplane is right here, but the chicken is over here. It's down and over some. So my offset is going to be offset by the specific amount required to show the chicken. Well, essentially all I've done is I've repeated the same process over and over again to show you the cow and the flag. So over here you look to see a cow and a flag. If I go back to the original cards, you can see the cow is over here and the flag is over here. Now, I can easily set up a background position and a class for every single one of the cards that is shown within this image. Pretty interesting. So what we can do, come back over here, you can see how this whole thing goes together, and now you've got the ability within this fiddle, and you'll have the code that goes to the lecture, to crop out pieces of a card so that if suppose you have an entire deck of cards which is all in one image, you can show one card at a time without having to go and split up the card into separate images. Hopefully this is useful for you and good programming. With this, This is going to take you on, the next lecture will be on going the next step in the game that I'm developing. Thank you very much and good programming.